Oops.
Well, dude, I thought of something that I forgot to mention before. Again, thank you to all of our listeners who are helping me on my road trip.
Oh boy, we haven't
Uh,
even talked about that. You've
Right.
you've finished it.
I've finished it. And it feels great. It feels great. And a part of me feels, I was saying this to Chris earlier, but it feels like the way that soldiers feel when they come back, where like you like can't really talk about it because no one could really ever understand what it was like, type of thing. You know what I mean? There's an element of that. And I'm not trying to compare myself to a soldier coming back from war, obviously. But dude, our listeners really helped me with a lot of stuff. One in particular, a thing that I'm very happy I got to go do, was I got to go to the George Floyd Memorial in Minneapolis, which I wouldn't have thought to do, which I obviously should have thought to do, but I would not have. And somebody was like, you need to go to this. And I didn't realize they had like memorialized the area where everything happened and all that stuff. So I was like, I need to go to this. So I went, and it was incredible, like incredibly powerful. And
what do they have? Like, what have they set up for it?
So they've blocked off all the streets in like multiple directions. And when you kind of walk in, there's like a checkpoint almost where a person's sitting underneath a little cabana and they give you hand sanitizer, which is very nice. Everybody wearing masks, whatever. But then, dude, I was amazed at how much people there were having conversations about race, dude. Like there's a deserted gas station. There were people sitting in a circle talking about race. Like they were discussing. It was crazy. And then
was it? Let me ask you this: was the makeup of the group different? Was it like all black people in that, or was it like a mixed group?
Mixed group.
Cool.
Ages, races, very cool. And then, that Cup Foods or whatever, where that happened, where, the cop was unfortunately, suffocating this guy, this poor guy. It's kind of all memorialized. There's like a big mural of George Floyd's face. And then there's kind of like written for an entire block, sort of like every notable person who's kind of like killed by the police or something, like for a whole street, flowers everywhere. Very powerful.
Wow.
Very intense moment for sure. So thank you for those suggestions, because I wouldn't have thought to like specifically go to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because once you're on the road, it's hard to kind of like process creativity. You have to like really commit to it because you've been through so much. So when you been through so much driving, when you get to your hotel, you're too tired to really kind of push through.
You want to just like kick your feet up and take a shower. Yeah.
Because dude, I like started feeling sick at one point during the trip.
For sure.
Like, oh, great. Like, I'm like, do I have COVID? You know what I mean? Like, since COVID is every symptom, you know what I mean?
Right.
Fortunately. So I'm like, fuck, am I sick? You know what I mean? So I'm like really trying to get my rest in. And, it was definitely a grind, man. I rented a car for like 7 more days than I needed it for. I kind of just like blasted through the road trip.
Wow. Unreal, dude. Do you think you're going to look back very fondly on this road trip, or, what are your thoughts right now?
Dude, it was great. I had a great time. It was really, nice to get some alone time, and I recommend to anybody. I've already been getting messages from people who have kind of like done some version of what I did, you know what I mean? Or are doing it right now, which I think is great.
Give us the states that you hit, if you can remember them.
Okay.
Really
so all in all, I think I was in, if you include, all right. So I was in Florida, went to Atlanta to shoot my commercial, and then flew to Alabama. And from there I went Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota,
holy shit,
Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. And I think I went to, I visited 26 national park registered units.
Wow.
Which I know and at least 1 or 2 every single day. Which got me off the beaten path. Very fucking cool. I'm going to do some kind of recap of it.
Yeah.
And kind of detail that you guys will be able to listen to somewhere else. I'm figuring that out still.
Cool, man. What do you have one thing that you can point to that was like your favorite moment of the trip or favorite site that you saw?
Well, I gotta be honest. I think that as a thematically, my favorite thing was just kind of when I would get in situations with like normal people from the place.
Yeah.
So for example, like there was a lot of it, really funny kind of things where you're like, oh, this is great. For example, I stopped at this like little diner in North Dakota, and just like it was a very funny, cute situation. Like there are these three sisters eating together, and they told the waitress immediately, "Oh, we're sisters." You know, you forget that in like kind of small places, people like learning about each other. Like, can you imagine being in New York City and being like, "Oh, we're sisters"? The waitress would be like,
Yeah.
"Guys, like we're understaffed. Come
This
on."
is my brother right here.
Yeah, no one gives a
I don't
fuck.
know if you thought that, but
Yeah,
it's
literally.
so adorable.
So, dude, this guy walks in. This like he was kind of looked like, I don't know what he did, but whatever. He looked like he worked with his hands for a living. He looked like he had a very warm face, mustache, taller guy, and he sees they threw him in and he recognized him. And he goes, "Oh yeah, Fran, I heard you pushed out some neighbors over there." Like I didn't know what he meant, and then they started going back and forth, going, oh yeah," which is like the stereotypical North Dakota.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
Midwestern.
Fargo-esque dialogue. So I'm loving this already. I'm flying on the wall, enjoying myself. And then I found this to be one of the funniest things I've ever experienced. And it's very subtle, but the waitress goes, "What can I get you to drink?" And the guy goes, "Oh, just have water." And then as she walks away to himself, he goes, "Good old water." I was like, that is unreal, dude. What a surreal moment.
Oh, that is as good as you prepared me to think it would be. Good old water.
Right?
How cute is that,
I
man?
know. Dude, I know.
Yeah, because in New York, it's all the water. As he's walking away, fucking water. You know what I mean? Like you curse the water, and weirdly it means the same thing in both places. You know.
100%, dude. 100%. But I had a great time. I came face to face with the buffalo again. I sent you guys pictures on my story. It was just, could talk about it for hours. It was great.
It's cool. Yeah. I mean, what a circuitous route you took too. It's not exactly just going in a natural progression of places. Right. Did you meet anybody that knew you?
Oh yeah. I met a fan at of the podcast at a truck stop in Wisconsin.
Come
of like
on.
in the middle of nowhere, dude. Yeah. It was awesome.
Wow. Did they come up to you? Did that person come up to you?
Yeah. Came up, talked for a sec. Seemed like a very nice guy. It was, that was cool.
Very cool.
I'm glad we have listeners all over the place. And quite frankly, doing this trip has made me realize how much we have listeners in different places, because every place that I've been, someone's been like, "Oh, you're here? Do this." Or most of the time it's like, "Are you still here?" And I was already gone.
Right.
But like all over the place. So, thanks everybody again. It was
very cool. Yeah. I've gotten a number of really great, messages from people lately. People like the book recommendations that we've given them. I'm reading a book right now called The Lost Weekend by Charles Jackson, I think it is. It was written in the 1940s, and it's just a guy it's a novel, but it's a fictionalized rendering of like a guy who goes on a 5-day bender, and he's an alcoholic, and the inner psychology, the inner thoughts of how he justifies his drinking and sort of the thoughts he has about other people and his superiority and his narcissism are such a fascinating thing to read from the standpoint of like addiction. And I think it's a pretty famous book, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'm going to recommend it as hard as I have some of the others yet, but if you are into that sort of thing, The Lost Weekend by Charles Jackson, pretty interesting read to shine a light on alcoholic addiction.
Very cool.
Any interesting emails or?
Well, dude, so check out this Chris. Actually, I guess the guy who I met up with took a picture, or I knew he took a picture, but I didn't realize he posted it. And Chris says that I look like an Italian tennis star in this picture. I'm gonna pull it up. It's funny.
Cool. I want to see this.
I do look like oddly bigger than this guy.
Oh, this is with the fan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. Dude, you look like Superman. Look like the guy who is gonna play Clark Kent next.
Chris, yeah, throw this picture in the YouTube video.
That's great. I love it, dude.
Friends, what did you just ask me before that?
If you'd met any fans but I wanted to see if we had any emails
Oh
or
yeah, we actually
reader
have we have a
submissions
good
that
one.
were,
We have a
yeah.
good one.
Okay.
So if you like that video, check out our channel where we have way more videos. Fucking, I just don't know how to do this. This is unbelievable. If you like that video, we have way more videos on our channel. Please like and subscribe. Turn on notifications if you want to know when there are new ones. But if not, check them out, and we appreciate it.
Oops.